Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Coming up in the next hour. Winter session of India's Parliament begins Monday. 13 bills including atomic energy and insurance to be taken up. Government to push reforms agenda. NIA raids 8 locations in South Kashmir linked to Red Fort car blast case. Raids aimed at dismantling networks involved in supporting terror activities. US President Trump says peace talks going along well after US-Ukraine talks in Florida. Says there is a good chance of a deal. Special envoy Steve Witkoff heads to Russia today. Trump confirms call with Maduro. Details undisclosed. Expands surveillance capabilities in Venezuela's neighboring countries. Venezuela's National Assembly to investigate US boat strikes. Death toll rises to 334 as Cyclone Ditwa leaves a trail of destruction and death. President terms it largest natural disaster, warns that recovery will take time. Storm weakens into deep depression. And Virat Kohli's 52nd ODI ton powers India to a thrilling 17-run win over South Africa. India take 1-0 lead in the 3-match ODI series. The winter session of India's Parliament begins today with 10 important bills likely to be taken up for passage during the session. The bills include the National Highways Amendment Bill, the Atomic Energy Bill, the Corporate Laws Amendment Bill, the Insurance Laws Amendment Bill, and the Higher Education Commission of India Bill 2025. In the Lok Sabha or the lower house, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will introduce 3 bills on the first day. The bills including the Manipur Goods and Services Tax, Second Amendment Bill 2025, the Central Excise Amendment Bill and the Health Security and National Security Cess Bill 2025 will be introduced for consideration and passing. While in Rajya Sabha or the upper house, members will take oath followed by Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change Bhupendra Yadav will move a statutory resolution that Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Amendment Act 2024 should be adopted in the state of Manipur. Overall, winter session will offer 15 sittings over 19 days. Government has expressed preparedness to take up any issue raised by political parties as per parliamentary rules. All the leaders have assured cooperation for the functioning of both the houses. And the National Investigation Agency today carried out a series of coordinated raids across 8 locations in South Kashmir in connection with the Red Fort car blast case. As part of the ongoing investigation, an NIA team raided the house of Molvi Irfan in Shopian, who has been identified as the alleged mastermind behind a white-collar terror module. Another raid was conducted at the residence of Jasir Bilal in Kazigund, Kulgam district. In addition to Shopian and Kazigund, NIA teams also conducted searches in several areas of Pulwama district, including Koil, Chandgam, Malangpura and Sambora. According to officials, the raids were aimed at dismantling networks involved in supporting terror activities through covert and financial channels. Digital devices, documents and other materials were reportedly seized during the searches, and a few individuals were questioned on the spot. In Tamil Nadu, at least 11 people died and more than 20 others were injured after 2 state-run buses collided head-on near Karaikuri on Sunday. The crash involved a bus from Kangeyam to Karaikuri and another from Karaikuri to Dingigul. The injured were admitted to government hospitals in Karaikuri, Tirupatur and Sivagangai. Police and fire and rescue teams quickly reached the scene with senior officials overseeing rescue operations. Prime Minister Modi expressed his sorrow over the tragedy. He posted on social media platform X calling the loss of lives deeply saddening, extending his thoughts to the families of the deceased and wishing a speedy recovery for the injured. He also announced an ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees to the next of kin of each deceased and 50,000 rupees to those injured. And India is hosting international conference on 50 years of Biological Weapons Convention, strengthening biosecurity for the Global South in New Delhi. India's Minister for External Affairs, Dr. S. Jaishankar, is also attending the conference. India is one of the 189 states parties to the Biological Weapons Convention, a majority of them being developing countries. In line with its strong commitment to disarmament and non-proliferation, this conference is an initiative of the Government of India to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Convention's entry into force. Through discussions with scientific experts, policy makers and diplomats from different countries and representatives from international and regional organizations, the event seeks to take stock of the contribution of BWC to international peace and security, review the global developments since its entry into force. The event will also explore the way forward to strengthen the BWC for addressing future challenges. Now, Thailand Foreign Minister is in India on his first official 4-day visit. He will meet External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar at Hyderabad House for bilateral discussions. The External Affairs Ministry has termed the visit as an opportune occasion to strengthen strategic partnership and enduring civilizational ties. In April, Prime Minister Modi was in Bangkok, Thailand, to attend the 6th BIMSTEC Summit. During his visit to the Southeast Asian country, PM Modi added new vigor to the bilateral friendship between the two nations during a meeting with his Thai counterpart, Paetongtarn Shinawatra, by elevating the bilateral ties to a strategic partnership. Moving on, Tesla CEO Elon Musk has defended the H-1B visa program, saying the US economy has greatly benefited from Indian immigrants. He made the comments during a podcast with Nikhil Kamath. Musk said the United States needs highly skilled workers from India more than ever before, while also criticizing some outsourcing companies for misusing the visa system. He said America has gained enormously from Indian talent. Musk added that his companies constantly struggle to fill specialized positions because there is always a shortage of talented people. His remarks came at a time when the H-1B program under President Donald Trump's second term has acknowledged the need for skilled foreign workers, but has also taken a stricter regulatory approach. And India's Border Security Force is celebrating its Raising Day today, honouring the world's largest border guarding force. The day celebrates the legacy of bravery, sacrifice and dedication, recognizing the BSF Academy as a training ground where soldiers are molded into tough heroes. It was on December 1st, 1965 that the first sector of the Punjab frontier of the BSF was raised with its headquarters in Jalandhar. A grand ceremonial parade marking the Diamond Jubilee celebrations was held at the BSF campus, Bhuj, Gujarat on 21st November. Union Home Minister Amit Shah paid floral tributes at the BSF Memorial before reviewing the parade. The parade featured 12-foot contingents showcasing the valor, discipline and legacy of the Seema Praharis. And for the first time in BSF history, 4 BSF personnel executed a breathtaking skydiving display with a perfect landing in the parade arena. Jammu Frontier received both the Maharana Pratap Trophy for Best Border, while Management and the Ashwini Trophy for Excellence in Sports and Training. And Home Minister Amit Shah has extended warm greetings to BSF personnel and the families on their Raising Day. In a social media post, he said that the force is synonymous with fiery patriotism, which has always upheld the honour of the nation and shielded the well-being of the citizens with Himalayan resolve and steely valour. He added that the undying flame of patriotism they have kept alight with supreme sacrifice will continue to show the path to generations of Indians. He saluted the brave hearts who made the supreme sacrifice in the line of duty. All right, shifting focus. World AIDS Day is observed on December 1st every year. First marked by World Health Organization in 1988, the day raises awareness of HIV, AIDS and supports those living with the virus. The theme for this year is Overcoming Disruption, Transforming the AIDS Response. It emphasizes the need to not only preserve past progress, but transform HIV services to make them more resilient, equitable and community-led. India observes World AIDS Day annually with nationwide awareness campaigns, community outreach and reaffirmed government efforts led by the National AIDS Control Organization under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Recognized globally as a successful initiative, India's AIDS control program initially focused on HIV detection, safe blood transfusions and public awareness. The establishment of the National AIDS and STD Control Program and NACO in 1992 facilitated a coordinated national strategy which later evolved into a more decentralized approach, emphasizing greater participation from NGOs and networks of people living with HIV. And sex workers held a candle march on the eve of World AIDS Day in Siliguri city of India's eastern state of West Bengal. March was aimed at raising awareness and mourned the loss of lives to the virus. HIV can affect anyone regardless of age, gender, ethnicity or sexual orientation, although certain groups are at greater risk because of socio-economic status, limited access to healthcare or because of higher infection rates in certain communities. And the government of India has tightened rules to curb cyber fraud. Apps using mobile numbers can no longer run without the associated SIM in the device. DD India's Prasar Bharati with this exclusive report.
The government of India has taken a decisive step to strengthen the nation's telecom cybersecurity. It has come to light that several app-based communication services, the ones that use mobile numbers for user identification, allow their platforms to run even when the associated SIM card isn't present in the device. This loophole, officials say, is being exploited from outside the country to commit cyber fraud using Indian mobile numbers. After months of discussion with major service providers, the government has now issued strict directions to stop this misuse and protect the integrity of India's telecom ecosystem. Under the new rules, to be implemented within 90 days, all app-based communication services must ensure one key requirement. The app must remain continuously linked to the specific SIM card used for the account. In simple terms, if the SIM is not active in the device, the app cannot be used. For services that also offers a web version, an additional safeguard has been mandated. All web sessions must automatically log out at least once every 6 hours. Users will still be able to reconnect, but only through secure QR code authentication. These measures are designed to shut down a major entry point for cyber criminals who misuse Indian numbers from overseas. With cyber fraud growing rapidly in scale and sophistication, the government's latest move signals a firm intent. With these new rules, the government aims to seal a major security gap and curb rising cyber fraud cases. Service providers now have 90 days to comply, a move expected to make India's digital ecosystem safer and more accountable for every user. With camera person Manmohan, this is Tapash Bhattacharya for DD India from Delhi.
As International Gita Mahotsav is on, the teachings of Lord Krishna are reaching new audiences worldwide. The Bhagavad Gita's message travelled from Kurukshetra to Australia, where the High Commission of India and the Association of Haryanvis hosted the second Gita Mahotsav. The event brought together the Indian diaspora, local communities and diplomats to reflect on Gita's guidance for a world facing conflict and uncertainty. Cultural performances included classical dance, artistic depictions of Krishna's teachings and storytelling. Scholars highlighted the Gita's relevance today, while ambassadors and senior representatives from Russia, the Netherlands, Georgia, Mauritius, Vietnam and Ukraine attended. India's High Commissioner Gopal Bagle honored artists, scholars and volunteers, praising the community for keeping these traditions alive. Let's now take a look at other stories making news today. Banaras Hindu University students came together in a spirited run for Kashi Tamil Sangamam, celebrating the bond that unites Tamil Nadu and Kashi. Each step echoed heritage, unity and a shared pride that prepares us for Kashi Tamil Sangamam on 2nd December. The right to Empower Mumbai Cyclone 2025 was organized by the Loha Foundation in association with the Sports Authority of India under the Fit India movement. Sunil Shetty, Jackie Shroff, Krishna Prakash and Mahima Chaudhary flagged off the ride, giving the strong start. The event aims to bring together cycling enthusiasts, fitness advocates and citizens from all walks of life to promote the connection between physical fitness and mental well-being. The horticulture and animal husbandry departments in Jammu and Kashmir are supporting a self-help group of 7 women in Kheram Penat through various government schemes. This support aims to empower the women by facilitating livelihood generation and promoting self-reliance through farm-based activities. And cities across Tamil Nadu were beautifully adorned with lights, creating a festive ambience for the Christmas celebration. Churches and markets were illuminated with vibrant lights, sparkling stars and beautifully arranged Christmas cribs days before the main holiday. Time now for a very short break, but still to come on this edition of DD India News Hour. Vilnius airport shut again after suspected balloons enter airspace. Honduran polling stations closed, leaving frustrated voters unable to cast ballots. And India intensifies rescue efforts under Operation Sagar Bandhu, deploying helicopters and NDRF teams across the hardest hit regions of Sri Lanka.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Hello. Johar.
Arey, it fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Some more stories. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio described Sunday's meeting between US and Ukrainian officials in Florida as very productive, noting that work still remains to end Russia's conflict in Ukraine. He said there are many moving parts involved and that Russia will also need to be part of the process. The talks focused on ongoing military and humanitarian support for Ukraine. Special envoy Steve Witkoff is set to travel to Moscow on Monday, where he is expected to meet Russian counterparts for further talks this week. Ukrainian Secretary of National Security and Defense Council Rustem Umerov also highlighted the success of the meeting. Take a listen.
We had another very productive session building off Geneva, building off the events of this week. As I told you earlier this morning, our goal here is to end the war, but it's more than just to end the war. We don't just want to end the war, we also want to help Ukraine be safe forever, so never again will they face another invasion, and equally importantly, we want them to enter an age of true prosperity.
We were discussing about the future of Ukraine. We discussed all the important matters that are important for Ukraine, for Ukrainian people, and the US was super supportive. We already had a successful meeting in Geneva, and today we continued this success. So at the moment, This meeting was productive and successful. On the later stages, hopefully, we will keep you updated.
And US President Donald Trump also said on Sunday that talks about a peace deal with Russia, which were going along well hours after Secretary of State Marco Rubio met with Ukrainian officials and expressed optimism about progress despite challenges ending the more than 3-year-long conflict.
Well, they're going along, and they're going along well. We want to stop people from being killed. Doesn't have much to do with us, but I'd like to see if we could save a lot of souls. A lot of people are being killed.
Have you spoken with Rubio and Witkoff since
I have, yeah. I've spoken to them, and they're doing well. Ukraine's got some difficult little problems. They have some difficult problems, but I think Russia would like to see it end, and I know Ukraine would like to see it end.
And Lithuania's Vilnius airport temporarily halted operations on Sunday due to suspected balloons in its airspace, the latest in a series of flight disruptions in the Baltic nation. European aviation has repeatedly been thrown into chaos in recent months by drone sightings and incursions, including in Copenhagen and Brussels. The Vilnius airport has been closed at least 10 times since early October. The Baltic country accused Belarus of allowing smugglers to use weather balloons for contraband cigarettes, calling it a hybrid attack. In response, Belarus President Lukashenko condemned the border closure as a crazy scam and accused the West of waging a hybrid war, creating a new era of division. In October, Lithuania closed both crossing points on the Belarus border in response to balloons, but reopened them last week as air traffic interruptions appeared to have stopped. And US President Donald Trump confirmed that he had spoken with Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, but did not provide details on what the two leaders discussed.
We consider Venezuela to be not a very friendly country. They sent millions of people, really, and probably a number in excess of that. And a lot of those people shouldn't be in our country, from jails, from gangs, from drug dealers, from all of the people that came into our country shouldn't have been in our country, causing a lot of problems.
Does your warning
and drugs.
Does your warning mean that an airstrike is imminent, or should we not read it that way?
Don't read anything into it.
The New York Times reported that you had a phone call with Maduro. Did you?
I don't want to comment on it. The answer is yes.
And can you tell us a little bit?
No, I can't do that.
Mr. President, would you say it went well?
I wouldn't say it went well or badly. It was a phone call.
And Donald Trump said airspace above and surrounding Venezuela should be considered closed in its entirety, but gave no further details, stirring anxiety and confusion in Caracas as his administration ramps up pressure on Maduro's government. When asked whether his airspace comments meant strikes against Venezuela were imminent, Trump said, "Don't read anything into it." Trump said he would look into whether the US military had carried out a second strike in the Caribbean that killed survivors during a September operation, adding he would not have wanted such a strike. US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has said the strikes are lawful but are intended to be lethal. Maduro and senior members of his administration have not commented on the call. All right, we'll take you live to the Parliament where Prime Minister Modi is making his remarks before the winter session gets underway.
आप भी मौसम का मजा लीजिए। साथियों, ये शीतकालीन सत्र ये सिर्फ कोई रिचुअल नहीं है। राष्ट्र को प्रगति की ओर तेज गति से ले जाने के जो प्रयास चल रहे हैं, उसमें ऊर्जा भरने का काम ये शीतकालीन सत्र भी करेगा, ऐसा मेरा पूरा विश्वास है। भारत ने लोकतंत्र को जिया है, लोकतंत्र के उमंग और उत्साह को समय समय पर ऐसे प्रकट किया है कि लोकतंत्र के प्रति विश्वास और मजबूत होता रहता है। गत दिनों बिहार में जो चुनाव हुए उसमें भी मतदान के जो विक्रम हुआ है वो लोकतंत्र की सबसे बड़ी ताकत है। माताओं बहनों की जो भागीदारी बढ़ रही है ये अपने आप में एक नई आशा, नया विश्वास पैदा करती है। एक तरफ लोकतंत्र की मजबूती और इस लोकतांत्रिक व्यवस्थाओं के भीतर अर्थतंत्र की मजबूती, इसको भी दुनिया बहुत बारीकी से देख रही है। भारत ने सिद्ध कर दिया है डेमोक्रेसी कैन डिलीवर। जिस गति से आज भारत की आर्थिक स्थिति नई ऊंचाइयों को प्राप्त कर रही है, विकसित भारत के लक्ष्य की ओर जाने में ये हमें नया विश्वास तो जगाती है, नई ताकत भी देती है। साथियों, ये सत्र संसद देश के लिए क्या सोच रही है, संसद देश के लिए क्या करना चाहती है, संसद देश के लिए क्या करने वाली है, इन मुद्दों पर केंद्रित होनी चाहिए। विपक्ष भी अपना दायित्व निभाएं, चर्चा में ऐसे मुद्दे उठाएं, मजबूत मुद्दे उठाएं, पराजय के निराशा में से बाहर निकल करके आए। और दुर्भाग्य है कि एक आध दो दल तो ऐसे हैं कि वो पराजय भी नहीं पचा पाते। और मैं सोच रहा था बिहार के नतीजे इतना समय हो गया है तो अब थोड़ा संभल गए होंगे, लेकिन कल जो मैं बयानबाजी सुन रहा हूं उनकी, तो उसे लगता है कि पराजय ने उनको परेशान करके रखा है। लेकिन मेरा सभी दलों से आग्रह है कि शीतकालीन सत्र में पराजय की बौखलाहट का वो मैदान नहीं बनना चाहिए और ये शीतकालीन सत्र विजय के अहंकार में भी परिवर्तित नहीं होना चाहिए। बहुत ही संतुलित तरीके से जिम्मेवारी के साथ जनप्रतिनिधि के रूप में देश की जनता का हमसे जो हमें दायित्व दिया है और हमसे जो अपेक्षाएं हैं उसको संभालते हुए हम आगे के लिए सोचें, जो है उसको कैसे अच्छा कर सके। अगर बुरा होता है तो उसमें सटीक टिप्पणी कैसे कर सके ताकि देश के नागरिकों का भी ज्ञानवर्धन हो। ये मेहनत का काम जरूर है लेकिन देश के लिए करना चाहिए। और मैं आशा करता हूं, मेरी एक सबसे बड़ी चिंता रही है पिछले कई लंबे समय से, सदन में जो पहली बार चुन करके आए हैं या जो छोटी आयु के हैं, वैसे सभी दलों के सभी सांसद बहुत परेशान है, बहुत दुखी हैं। उन्हें अपने सामर्थ्य का परिचय कराने का अवसर नहीं मिल रहा है। अपने क्षेत्र की समस्याओं की बात बताने का अवसर नहीं दिया जा रहा है। राष्ट्र के विकास की यात्रा में भागीदार बनने के लिए वो अपनी कुछ बात बताना चाहते हैं, उस पर भी रोक लगा दी जा रही है। कोई भी दल हो, हमें किसी को भी हमारी ये नई पीढ़ी के आ रहे नौजवान सांसद, पहली बार आए हुए सांसद, उनको अवसर देना चाहिए। उनके अनुभवों का हमें सदन को लाभ मिलना चाहिए। इस नई पीढ़ी के अनुभव सदन के माध्यम से राष्ट्र को भी लाभान्वित करेंगे और इसलिए मेरा आग्रह रहेगा कि हम इन चीजों को गंभीरता से लें। ड्रामा करने के लिए जगह बहुत होती है, जिसको करना है करते रहें। यहां ड्रामा नहीं, डिलीवरी होनी चाहिए। नारे के लिए भी जितने नारे बुलवाने हैं, वो पूरा देश खाली पड़ा है। जहां पराजित होकर के आए वहां बोल चुके हो, जहां अभी पराजय के लिए जाने वाले हो वहां भी बोल दीजिए, लेकिन यहां तो नारे नहीं, नीति पर बल देना चाहिए और वो आपकी नीयत होनी चाहिए। साथियों, हो सकता है राजनीति में नेगेटिविटी कुछ काम आती होगी, लेकिन अल्टीमेटली नेशन बिल्डिंग के लिए कुछ सकारात्मक सोच भी होनी चाहिए। नेगेटिविटी को जरा अपनी मर्यादाओं में रख करके नेशन बिल्डिंग की तरफ ध्यान दें, ये मेरी अपेक्षा रहेगी। साथियों, ये शीतकालीन सत्र एक और कारण से भी महत्वपूर्ण है। हमारे नए माननीय सभापति जी आज से हमारे उच्च सदन का मार्गदर्शन उनका शुरू हो रहा है। मैं उनको शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। साथियों, जीएसटी रिफॉर्म्स एक नेक्स्ट जनरेशन रिफॉर्म्स के लिए देशवासियों के मन में एक श्रद्धा का वातावरण पैदा किया है। इस सत्र में भी उस दिशा में बहुत सारे काम होने वाले हैं। हमारे देश का एक हमारे मीडिया के मित्र कभी अगर एनालिसिस करेंगे तो उनको ध्यान में आएगा कि पिछले कुछ समय से हमारे सदन को या तो चुनावी का वार्मिंग अप के लिए उपयोग किया जा रहा है, या तो पराजय की बौखलाहट करने को निकालने के लिए उपयोग किया जा रहा है। अब मैंने देखा है कुछ प्रदेश ऐसे हैं कि सत्ता में रहने के बाद इतनी एंटी इनकम्बेंसी है कि वो वहां जनता में जा नहीं पा रहे हैं, वहां लोगों के बीच जाकर के अपनी बात बता नहीं पा रहे हैं, और इसलिए सारा गुस्सा या सदन में आकर के निकालते हैं और सदन को अपने उस राज्य की राजनीति के लिए इस्तेमाल करने की नई परंपरा को कुछ दलों ने जन्म दिया है। अब उन्होंने एक बार चिंतन करना चाहिए कि पिछले 10 साल से ये जो खेल खेल रहे हैं, देश स्वीकार नहीं कर रही है इन पद्धतियों को, तो अब थोड़ा बदलें, अपनी रणनीति बदलें। मैं टिप्स देने के लिए तैयार हूं उनको कैसे परफॉर्म करना चाहिए, लेकिन कम से कम सांसदों के हकों पर तराप मत लगाइए, सांसदों को अभिव्यक्ति का अवसर दीजिए, अपनी निराशा और अपने पराजय पे सांसदों को बलि मत बनाइए। मैं आशा करता हूं कि इन जिम्मेवारियों के साथ हम सब चलें, लेकिन मैं देश को विश्वास देता हूं कि राष्ट्र प्रगति की राह पर चल पड़ा है, राष्ट्र नई ऊंचाइयों को पार करने की दिशा में आगे बढ़ रहा है और ये सदन भी उसमें एक नई ऊर्जा, नया सामर्थ्य भरने का काम करेगा। इसी विश्वास के साथ बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
All right, we just heard Prime Minister's remarks ahead of the opening day of the winter session of Parliament. Prime Minister calls for meaningful discussion in the House. Democracy can deliver, he said. He underlined the government's readiness for discussion and expressed confidence about its smooth conduct. He also highlighted the importance of taking up the legislative business in a steady and orderly manner. We'll have to see how that reflects in today's proceedings. Day one of the winter session of the Parliament, and taking a dig at the opposition, he said no scope for drama. Focus should only be on delivery. Focus should only be on nation building, he said, and there should be no scope for negativity. So overall 15 sittings over 19 days of the winter session of the Parliament, and the government expected to table 10 important bills in this session over the next 3 weeks. All right, so that was primarily the gist of what Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, and the winter session day one starts today in some time. All right, we'll go across to DD India, Siddharth Bhardwaj. Siddharth, Prime Minister calls for meaningful discussion in the House. How does this tone set by PM Modi shape the agenda for the winter session?
First of all, a very good morning to you, Abhishek. And today is the first day of the winter session of Parliament, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi just now addressed the nation, and wherein he said that there is no room for drama here, and if the opposition parties want to do drama, they can go anywhere else but the Parliament, because this is a place wherein important discussions should happen and important discussions should take place. He also said that India has shown to the world that democracy can deliver. He also addressed the Bihar elections, wherein the NDA won by a massive margin. He said that Bihar election results show that people, they have voted and they came out in large numbers, in the world's largest democracy. While addressing the first day of the winter session, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that he urges opposition leaders to actually have a meaningful discussions, and they should be thinking towards nation building. And if they have anything in mind when it comes to staging any demonstration, if they want to chant any slogans, they can do it outside, because there are many places. He also said that this is the time, from past few days, from past few months, when he's been witnessing that the opposition leaders are not even going to the people. They have fear instilled in their minds. So they have to have constructive discussions within the Parliament, and for which Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself is ready to give tips. And Abhishek, definitely in the world's biggest democracy, in the world's largest democracy, it's very important to have meaningful discussions. It's very important to have constructive discussions, because this is a place, which is pretty much responsible in how the nation works. And winter session is very much responsible for the Viksit Bharat, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said. It will contribute to the nation's development and India's vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. Abhishek, remember, it's the year when India will be celebrating the centenary of its celebrations, and it's very important, and it is expected by that time India will be able to manufacture everything under the sun. So aligning with the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047 and Make in India initiative, the India is on a path to development, and this is the time wherein all the lawmakers, all the party members, they come together and they hold discussions as well. Opposition is expected to hold discussions, is expected to take up various issues in the Parliament this time, but the government will be presenting 10 key bills, which also includes Abhishek, the Atomic Energy Bill and also the Corporate Laws Amendment Bill. Apart from the other bills that the government is likely to present in the Parliament, there are 10 key important bills like I've just mentioned. So all in all, in his address, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said and urged all the party members to come and do a constructive discussion which will help in nation building and not just sloganeering and the chants wherein which he also said that they can do it anywhere, like I've just said, but not in the parliament, because it's the place wherein constructive discussions should place for the welfare of the people, for the welfare of the country, for the nation building.
So that also, I mean, like you also said, taking a dig at the opposition, he said that no scope for drama, focus should only be on delivery, focus should be on the nation building. And PM Modi, while addressing, he highlighted the need for steady, orderly legislative work. Tell us, what does that signal about the government's expectations for this session?
Well, a lot, Abhishek. You know, if I mention you, then government is doing a constructive work, and by saying this, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the current government, the central government, is actually working towards the welfare of the people, the welfare of the nation, and which includes every section of the society. You know, be it any section, the government is working for the welfare of farmers. Government is working with the welfare of women. Government is working towards the women empowerment, and apart from that, there are some other sections as well which the government is covering. There are some initiatives, there are some reforms, there are some other things that are being you know, introduced by the government and that have been introduced by the government. So that clearly shows that how the government is focused towards the development of the nation, in the holistic development of the nation. And today is the time, Abhishek, the world is looking at India, the world wants to collaborate with India, be it any sector, you name the sector, and India is there. Be it space sector, be it healthcare sector, you know, and be it defense sector, the world wants to collaborate with India. And we have also seen, you know, in recent past, you know, the kind of agreements that India has done with other countries, including the free trade agreements and the trade deal with some other countries. Today, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi goes anywhere in the country, we have seen the kind of welcome which Prime Minister Narendra Modi gets. We have seen that in recently held G20 as well, which happened in South Africa, and also wherever Prime Minister Narendra Modi goes. So this goes on to show that how India has made its mark on the global world, and how the government is working towards the welfare of the citizens and welfare of the nation as a whole. So Prime Minister, when said that this is not a place for drama but delivery, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is saying that the opposition must take up the issues and discuss.
Absolutely, he calls for meaningful discussion in the House. Yes, Siddharth, we'll leave it at that. Thank you for your inputs. Moving on, polling stations in Honduras closed on Sunday evening as voters and electoral observers denounced officials for turning away citizens still waiting to vote in a tightly contested presidential election. The National Electoral Council had extended polling station hours and gave individual voting stations the authority to remain open an additional hour. However, some locations appeared to close while voters were still waiting. The election to choose Honduras' next president for 2026 to 2030 term is a virtual three-way tie between former Defense Minister Regime Monsalvo of the ruling leftist Liberal Party, former Tegucigalpa Mayor Nasri Asfura of the Conservative National Party, and the television host Salvador Nasrallah of the centrist Liberal Party. And the vote has been conducted under intense international scrutiny following mutual fraud accusations among candidates. The Organization of the American States demanded a process free of intimidation and fraud, while US President backed Asfura and threatened to cut aid if he loses. And Sri Lanka continues to grapple with one of its deadliest natural disasters in recent years as the death toll from Cyclone Ditwa's aftermath has risen to 334, with 370 people still missing. The storm, which made landfall in late November 2025, caused catastrophic flooding and landslides across all 25 districts. Central hill areas of Kandy and Badulla are particularly hit hard. Widespread floods and landslides continue to cut off several districts. President Anura Kumara Dissanayake addressed the nation and assured that the state of emergency will be used to speed up relief and recovery. The Sri Lankan and Indian forces continue to carry out large-scale rescues. And India's weather department said that the cyclonic storm Ditwa is very likely to move nearly northwards parallel to North Tamil Nadu, Puducherry coast during the next 24 hours. Red alert has been reduced to orange alert, meaning heavy rains with light thunderstorms are likely in 1 or 2 places in Chennai. And India has intensified rescue efforts under Operation Sagar Bandhu, deploying helicopters and NDRF teams across the hardest hit regions of Sri Lanka. Last batch of Indian passengers stranded in Bandaranaike International Airport in Colombo have reached home. High Commission of India in Colombo informed that 104 stranded Indians reached Thiruvananthapuram on board IAF aircraft around 6:30 a.m. today. And the Indian Air Force, in close coordination with Sri Lankan authorities, carried out major rescue and evacuation operations in the landslide-affected Kotmale region, which remains completely cut off by route. Across the day's missions, IAF helicopters evacuated a total of 400 stranded passengers, including 6 critical casualties and 4 infants, and brought them safely to Colombo. These included over 30 foreign nationals from countries such as Germany, South Africa, Slovenia, the UK, Poland, Belarus, Iran, Australia, Pakistan and Bangladesh, along with Sri Lankan citizens. To reinforce ground relief efforts, the IAF also airlifted Sri Lankan army personnel into the affected area to support rescue and clearance operations. The scale and speed of these missions underline India's steadfast commitment to assisting Sri Lanka in its hour of need, with the Indian Air Force delivering swift, coordinated and compassionate humanitarian assistance and disaster relief support under challenging conditions. India aircraft C-130J landed in Colombo, bringing further humanitarian relief items. This includes about 4 tons of Bhishma modular trauma cubes, about 5 tons of medical supplies. Bhishma cubes are highly durable, rapid deployment, mobile primary health units equipped with diagnostic equipments and compact surgical stations designed for disaster situations. All right, still to come on this edition of DD India News Hour. As Indian Pickleball League 2025 prepares to make its debut, we get you a detailed story. And Hornbill Fest begins at Kisama near Kohima. Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Sports updates now. We'll start with pickleball. India is set to witness a historic moment in sports as the Indian Pickleball League 2025 prepares to make its debut at the KD Jadhav Indoor Hall at the Indira Gandhi Sports Complex in New Delhi. From December 1st to 7th, New Delhi will host a week-long celebration of India's newest professional sporting league, bringing together world's top stars in a first-of-its-kind competition. Here's more.
Pickleball has been gaining momentum across India, with players from schools, academies and local clubs embracing the fast, energetic game. The launch of the Indian Pickleball League represents a major step forward as it will give Indian pickleball a national platform. This league is not just about competition. It is about building a pathway for young athletes, creating fan excitement and giving the sport the visibility it deserves. The inaugural season features 6 franchises: Mumbai Smashers, Hyderabad Royals, Chennai Super Warriors, Bengaluru Blasters, Lucknow Leopards, and Capital Warriors Gurgaon. Each team brings its own story, strategy, and style. The Indian Pickleball League also serves as a launchpad for India's younger players. Recent performances at the IPA Nationals, which saw over 1,500 participants, demonstrated the growing depth of talent. Internationally renowned players such as Kwang Dong, Megan Fudge and Jack Munro join India's top performers including Aditya Rohela, Mihika Yadav, Priyanka Mehta, Alia Ibrahim and Tejas Gulati, promising high-level competition and electrifying matches. The Indian Pickleball League will expand the sports audience, create structured career pathways and inspire young athletes to pursue pickleball. From December 1 to 7, the KD Jadhav Indoor Hall at the Indira Gandhi Sports Complex in New Delhi will witness a celebration of skill and ambition. The Indian Pickleball League 2025 is where Indian pickleball takes its first confident leap into a professional future, and the excitement surrounding it promises to be just the beginning of a long and bright journey. Sports Desk, DD India.
Cricket now. Virat Kohli's record-extending century powered India to a nervy 17-run win over South Africa in the first ODI of the three-match series in Ranchi on Sunday. A stunning century by Virat Kohli, a 50 by Rohit Sharma and 4-wicket haul by Kuldeep Yadav were the highlights as India overcame a tough fight shown by Proteas. Putting India into bat first, South Africa paid the price as Virat Kohli, KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma took India to 349 for 8 in 50 overs. Sensational 50s from Matthew Bretzke, Marco Jansen and Corbin Bosch kept South Africa's hopes alive after the visitors got off to a terrible start. However, Indian bowlers held their nerve in the end and bowled out South Africa for 332. With this victory, India take a 1-0 lead in the three-match series. And in football, India battled past Iran 2-1 in Ahmedabad on Sunday to qualify for the AFC Under-17 Asian Cup 2026. India needed a win in this match against Iran to advance, whereas the latter would have booked its spot in next year's tournament with just a draw. Amir Reza Walipur's 19th-minute goal gave Iran the lead before India captain Gangte's strike from the penalty spot restored parity. The Blue Coals' comeback was complete when Gunleba shot caught a slight deflection and nestled into the back of the net. The victory has sealed India's 10th appearance in the continental tournament. The best finish in the competition remains reaching the quarterfinals in 2002 and 2018. And heartbreak for Indian men's hockey team as they settled for silver at the Sultan Azlan Shah Cup 2025. In a tight final in Malaysia on Sunday, India went down 1-0 against Belgium. Forward T. Bow Stockbrooks scored the solitary winner in the 34th minute. Despite fighting hard, Craig Fulton's side could not convert 3 crucial penalty corners. This marks Belgium's first ever title in tournament's history. Notably, the Belgians were the only side to defeat India throughout the campaign. Elsewhere, New Zealand took the bronze by thrashing Malaysia 6-1, while Canada finished 5th. And the 9th edition of the Dubai Fitness Challenge officially concluded on Sunday with a successful staging of Dubai Yoga 2025, a large-scale community yoga session held at Zabil Park in the shadow of the Dubai frame. The closing ceremony, titled Dubai Yoga 2025, drew thousands of participants of all ages and abilities for a 2-hour sunset session led by internationally acclaimed yoga instructor and former US Marine Darlene Venner, supported by a team of certified trainers. The event offered inclusive programming with dedicated zones for families, women and people of determination, along with adaptive yoga practices and a range of wellness activities. Initiated by Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Crown Prince of Dubai, the Dubai Fitness Challenge ran from 1st to 30th November.
So the Dubai Fitness Challenge is an initiative of His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, and the vision behind this initiative is to make Dubai one of the most active cities in the world. So during the Dubai Fitness Challenge, we make fitness very accessible to the whole city. There's different activities and different sports and different events that people can take part in. And the whole idea is that once people have developed those good habits for 30 days, ideally it will be something that people develop for their entire life, and people have these healthy habits last them their entire life.
And in English Premier League, 10-man Chelsea held Arsenal to a 1-1 draw in the high-octane top-of-the-table London derby. Chelsea's Moises Caicedo was sent off in the 38th minute after a war check for landing a crunching tackle on Mikel Merino's ankle. Defender Chalobah flicked a header into the net from a pinpoint corner by captain Reece James 3 minutes after the break. Arsenal replied in the 59th minute when Marino converted a cross by Bukayo Saka. After this game, Arsenal sit at the top of the table with 30 points ahead of second place Manchester City. Meanwhile, Chelsea is placed at the third spot. And every winter, the northeastern hills of India come alive with one of the country's most colourful and culturally rich festivals, one among which is the Hornbill Festival. The festival is beginning today at Kisama Heritage Village, around 12 km from Kohima, Nagaland's capital. The Hornbill Festival, organised by State Tourism and the Art and Culture Department, it is named after the state's cherished bird, Aka, the hornbill, featured in several folklores. The Hornbill Music Festival is known as India's largest music festival. It encourages inter-tribal interaction and cultural displays that amalgamate into a vibrant and colourful event like no other. The 2025 edition promises to be as vibrant and engaging as every year, providing a rare window into the lives of Nagaland's tribes through dance, music, crafts, sports and local cuisine. And that's all we have in this edition of DD India News Hour. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.